Diversity class at MATC. Through this class, I have learned a few things. It is common knowledge that you must be of a certain class in order to obtain jobs of a certain status. You must obtain a certain level of expertise before you can obtain more professional jobs, such as schooling and previous work experience. It is at this point during the hiring process that some employers will limit jobs based on gender and/or race. There is still prejudice for offering certain jobs in different pay rates to people of different genders and/or races, even in 2011 and 2012. The National Committee on Pay Equity reports that the wage gap between men and women has been virtually unchanged in the last year, with women's earnings at a gap of only 0.4% in the years of 2010 and 2009. Somewhat less disheartening is the fact that we as America have made great progress in the last turn of 50 years, with women making only 61% of what men made 50 years ago. It appears that the U.S. is making progress in pay equity in the long term. However, I would not report this as significant, only about 0.5% per year. In more recent years, some of this pay difference may be due to the fact that men and women are drawn to different fields. Careers that attract men include business, finance, investment, law, and engineering. Careers that attract women include teaching, nursing, healthcare, childcare, and social work. That's extrapolated from a psych study by Salve and Kirby. These career fields have significant pay differences between them. However, even as women choose to go into a field that is typically dominated by men, they could be compensated yet less than men who are fulfilling the same task. A study conducted on this topic also found that female students place more importance on being able to balance life with work, craving a social life and cultural fit within the organization they are working for. That's Salve and Kirby again. It seems to be that women are willing to accept a lower pay grade if they feel they're going to be socially accepted into the company or organization they are about to become part of. Salve and Kirby bring in the point that when women and men hold the same job, such as Wall Street financial analyst, women who hold the job generally get paid compensated less for it. When women generally get compensated less for jobs and careers than men of the same profession, some jobs are limited to people of a certain race, namely whites. It is difficult to research this topic. This articles and interviews pertaining information about jobs limitations to people of different races are few and far between. It's difficult for blacks to be accepted to research or interview a truly segregated workplace, as white researchers simply do not go there. It seems to be less difficult to research black communities, as they are more accustomed to being researched than white communities. We all censor ourselves based on the race of the company we are in. Whether black or white, we speak differently if there are members of opposite races present. Experienced researchers will make arrangements for subjects to be interviewed by members of the same race, even when the data is not race sensitive, in order to prevent the results from being skewed in the interview process. If we limit the words we say based solely on the racial characteristics or categories of the members of the environment we are part of, what stops us from limiting the jobs we offer to other races? Higher pay rates are limited based on gender, much more than limited based on race. The pay gap between men or women of color is only about half as significant as the pay gap between men and women. That is the National Committee on Pay Equity. In the past, prevalence of members of different races dominating different jobs could be attributed to the inadequate education, causing them to earn different wages reflected upon by lower skill, effort, or responsibility entailed in the work. Though we have made great progress in the last decades, it is not as significant as one may like to believe. There's a slow and erratic increase in equality in the United States, not a steady linear or exponential growth by any means, but rather an erratic pulse of steady percentages. But since there is no steady gain or decline by either gender equality or race equality in the topic of the labor market, it is impossible to predict when males will be paid the same as females for the same job, or whites the same as minorities. If the most recent rate of pay equity between men and women continues to be steady at a rate of about 0.5% greater equality every year and grows at a linear rate, it will be 43 years before women are paid equally as much as men for the same task. If the most recent rate of pay equality between black women and white men stays steady at about 0.25% per year and grows at a linear rate, it will be another 132 years before black women are paid equally as much as men. These gaps are closing erratically, not linearly, and these percentages are taken from a variety of sources, so I urge all listening to take this with a grain of salt. Data is interpreted and extrapolated differently from a variety of sources, and we can only hope for the best. There's still a prejudice for offering different jobs and pay rates to people of different genders and races. Only one thing is for certain. One day we will all be truly equal, though this will not happen in the lifetime of anybody who is alive now.